the last 3 games for the Braves. Bradley leads the all-time series 12-5, and the 18th all-time matchup between these programs is underway as the Braves control the tip. Here's Duke Dean, who's averaging 18 points, 4 assists over his last 3 contests. They go early to Thomas. He draws the double, splits, and had it taken away. And up ahead go the Beacons. They like to get out in transition early, and especially in league play when the teams are so strong defensively, sometimes that's when you get your best look, and Valpo tends to try to take advantage of that. As All Right launches a 3, no good. Offensive rebound to Sepp. He's an outstanding rebounder. He's actually 45th in the country in offensive rebounding percentage as an individual, 12th defensively.
Yeah, Bradley playing some really good defense here on this opening possession, but a second offensive rebound for Sepp keeps it alive. An extra pass. Well done by Valpo there to get the first points of the ball game, and an easy bucket for Schwieger.
Schwieger, the Valley's freshman of the year a year ago, the leading scorer at 13 points per game, gets on the board for the Beacons early. Another early touch to Thomas, and he loses it, and here come the Beacons the other way. Quick touch inside to Sepp. Here's Schmidt going up against a tough matchup in Davis, and that is why, as the Braves show there, Davis collects up to Dean. Braves still searching for their first field goal attempt on their 3rd possession. The high ball screen. Anticipated well, the Braves catch a break as Davis sings it in the corner for Hanna, who buries a 3.
Yeah, Darius Hanna knocks down the triple from the corner. 44% on the season from behind the arc. Gets Bradley on the scoreboard here early.
The Braves, the top 3-point shooting team in the country percentage-wise, a shade under 46%. As we get our first whistle and foul, that's going to be on the floor. That's going to be on Hanna. And Almar Atlason is going to check in for Hanna. Atlason celebrated a birthday yesterday. Sophomore out of Reykjavik, Iceland.
See a little belated birthday gift here for the Bradley fans. Maybe coming up with a victory today for Atlason and a nice performance.
It worked out well the other day when Dean had a game the day after his birthday.
You think they scheduled it that way?
Megamind genius stuff right there. Right.
Tough shot.
Yeah, great defense by Dean to influence that one. They're going to say it was deflected and last touched by Bradley with 3.4 to shoot.
And Wright's a player that's playing with a lot of confidence right now. Thought he could shoot and rise up over Duke Dean, but Dean does a nice job getting the hand up. No contact. Blocked shot now. A little over 3 seconds for Valpo here.
De La Cruz Monegro, the inbounder, gets it right back. He's going to have to force one up. Does. It did graze the rim, but Dean collects the board. He'll bring it up. One-on-one, Davis spinning in the lane. Kicks it back out, but first he was fouled on his way in on the pass. First whistle against Valpo here this afternoon.
That's excellent recognition there by Christian Davis. Look at him size up the defender, spin. Here comes the help. It's swiped down on, and that's going to be a foul on the Beacons. Now a fresh 20 here for Bradley to operate.
Thomas. Davis muscles one up and in.
There's the aggressiveness again right there. Feels the defender on the back hip, and Davis just says, I'll go all the way. A little finger roll off the glass. Puts it up and in.
He had 10 points and 9 rebounds in the win at Valpo last season. That was the only matchup between these two schools last year. They did not play here in Peoria. Bradley with an 86-61 win at the Arc in Valparaiso as Sepp taps it, and that deflected off both Schwieger and Wright, and it'll go back over to the Braves.
Yeah, you see the active hands again from Sepp, keeping that play alive. And Christian Davis on the offensive side of the floor, really getting into a nice rhythm here early on.
skip to Atlason. Good closeout by Sepp.
And one of the things you're going to see the Beacons do a lot today, like they just did, is Schwieger switching on to Montgomery. They switch a lot on all the ball screens. That's going to have a nice opportunity for Bradley to maybe move the ball quick, get some nice looks based off of those mismatches they can get off the switch.
Jonovic fouls De La Cruz Monegro, who frequents the stripe. Sepp already with 3 rebounds. He came in averaging nearly 7 per game in just 17 minutes per game as you get another look at the foul.
Yeah, Jefferson De La Cruz Monegro is a player, leader on the floor for this program and for Coach Roger Powell. I see him right there. A guy who really likes to get downhill and get into the paint. As Brian said, prolific at the free throw line as well.
80%. Spent his last 2 years at Western Michigan. And speaking of Western Michigan, what a win for Valparaiso. We talked about building some momentum again, as we said right at the top. They've already matched their win total from a year ago when they went 7-25, 7-5 to start the year. And that includes just a monumental comeback, 22-point deficit coming up against Western Michigan, and some dramatics at the end as well.
Yeah, they end the game on a 24-2 run in the final 6 minutes and 50 seconds, including a half quarter from Justice McNair, one of their top bench reserves. You'll see him in a little bit, I'm sure. He's a guy who can really fill it up off the bench for the Beacons, and a really quality win with that half-court shot. I mean, you know, Valpo's a program who is known for their half-court heaves, right?
Fun thing to be known for, that's for sure. That one was partially deflected. Jonovic couldn't grab it. And here comes De La Cruz Monegro the other way. Sepp thought about a 3. Instead, here's Tyler Schmidt on the pick and roll. Back to Sepp. Defended well. Schmidt tries a 3. Tipped out, and they're going to get Schwieger for over the back. So it's going to go on Schwieger, and that's his second. That's a big whistle that goes against Valpo early. It'll be Bradley basketball when we come back. 15:25 remaining here in the half. Braves with a 1-point lead.
Our generation isn't turning away from the world's problems. Watch us fly ahead, rise to every challenge, and overcome anything. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Hosting a holiday feast? Let Popeyes cook something everyone will love. Serving it as a home-cooked meal can be our little secret. This year, take a holiday from cooking with Popeyes Festive Family Box.
Have that chicken from Popeyes.
This is ludicrous.
Ludicrous. All right, who called for ludicrous?
Sorry,
we went, this is ludicrous.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't tell Ludacris what's ludicrous. Ludacris tells you what's ludicrous.
Okay.
Oh, that is ludicrous. You don't need me for this. Hang on. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Good thing you have State Farm. Just file a claim on the app or call us.
Guess I can go.
Don't you mean roll out?
No, I don't.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This holiday season, discover the story behind the scar. We will build a new kingdom. It's our kingdom, brother. Mufasa the Lion King is filled with adventure and action. Experience the film that is hilarious and entertaining.
Run along, kitty cat.
Oh, this is so embarrassing.
It's the perfect family Christmas movie that you will absolutely love.
Ew, love? That sounds gross and not something like I constantly think about and really want.
Disney's Mufasa the Lion King. Rated PG. Now playing only in theaters.
Back here on the Valley on ESPN, as you get a look at Roger Powell Jr. drawing something up for his Beacon squad in his second year at Valparaiso, and of course actually started his coaching career at Valpo, then left for a few years to be under Mark Few's staff at Gonzaga, 4 very successful years. Now back at Valpo, was an assistant under Bryce Drew, now the head man. You see the resume, of course, part of the Final Four team for the Illini, national runner-up in 2005, and remember being around Central Illinois around that time.
Oh, yeah.
It was an exciting time, even if you weren't an Illini fan per se. Everyone was following that team. Just a remarkable group, and had a successful playing career, and now has carried that success over to the coaching reins as well.
Yeah, you talk about the success. He's one of only a handful of people who have played and coached in an NCAA national title game, obviously, 2005 with the Illini, and then with Gonzaga back in 2021 as an assistant. So He brings a lot of success to this program. Darius Hannah takes advantage of the mismatch down low, flips it up and in. But putting a ribbon on, Coach Powell's resume and everything he's been able to achieve already. You mentioned, Brian, matched the win total from last season for this Beacons program at 7, and things really moving in the right direction.
Yeah, no question about it. Schmidt this time knocks down the 3. He launched one from earlier in that similar spot. Came up empty. This time he knocks down the first 3 of the game for the Beacons.
Hey, it makes sense for Schmidt. Comes into the game shooting about 50% from behind the arc at 49%. Gets that one to go.
Good ball movement around the horn. This is when the Braves are at their best. However, good recovery by Valparaiso. Underneath for Hannah, and he left it short. Just the liftoff was a little flat, and he came up empty. I thought that was going to be highlight reel material.
Yeah, excellent patience there by Bradley to get the excellent look down low. Hannah just unable to get that one to over the front of the rim. And here's a 3-ball for Seth.
And he knocks it down. Back-to-back triples by the Beacons. That's just the 3rd 3 of the season from Seth. Now just 3 of 11. Came in at 20%. A 1 of 1 today.
Yeah, if Seth can knock down some 3-balls for Valpo this afternoon, it might be a recipe for success. He's really a great facilitator. Obviously, we've seen his prowess on the offensive glass. A nice backdoor cut.
And Davis with his second layup off the glass here this afternoon. He's got 4 on the assist from Hannah.
Yeah, you see the versatility there by Hannah. He's able to stay out on the perimeter, able to find a streaking Christian Davis with his man behind him for the easy bucket.
Quick floater, right side baseline is good from Seth. He now has 5 points to go along with 3 rebounds, an assist, and a block early for the Beacons.
And Valpo's been able to get whatever they want on the offensive side of the floor here through the opening 7 minutes. And Bradley got to really try to lock down on that defense. We talked about the tenacious D being one of the keys to the game. So far, Valpo having a nice little success on that side of the floor.
Montgomery, and there's Allright, the freshman, who's coming off a 10-point, 10-assist game against Calumet College of St. Joseph.
Hey, he said post-game that was his first career double-double as well. The 10 assists, that's very rare.
Up to Sepp, another floater in the lane, that's good.
Easy 2-man game there, just off of the screen and roll. Sepp able to get into the lane, nobody gets a hand up for Bradley.
Valpo's opened up a 5-point lead. Dean trying to use his speed to his advantage, backs in, tough deuce, and the rebound goes to Carson Schwieger. We've seen sparingly at times this year, but he's in as his brother Cooper is on the bench with 2 fouls.
That was excellent defense by Sepp there on the mismatch against Dean. Come off the screen. I got to get Sepp again, maybe. Nope.
Instead, it's Allright who's fouled on the 3-point attempt. That's going to go on Dean. That's number 1 on Dean. And that'll be 3 free throws for Allright, an 86% foul shooter. Came in averaging just under 11 points per game. Slew of substitutions set to come back in for both sides. Again, Bradley coming off a dominant win at home against Canisius. And before that, a very impressive win against San Francisco. As I said at the top, unbeaten here at home this year. They have a 10-game home winning streak going back to last season. And what do you know, 86%, he misses the first 2.
Yeah, and Wright's a player whose confidence has been growing. See him miss the first 2 free throws here, but you talk about a player who's been red hot. 26 points versus Central Michigan, and then 22 points on the road at Ohio State. 20 of those 22 came in the second half, so a player who is really getting the nice flow of the offense. Obviously, he has a read on that as well with 10 assists in the last game against Calumet as well. So he's a really nice piece for Valparaiso as the rest of the season comes to the wire here with the Valley play starting.
11-4 run for the Beacons. Davis trying to change that and somehow gets it to go. Good work by Christian Davis.
That is a very difficult shot right there, running on the baseline. The one-handed fadeaway as he's falling out of bounds, able to go.
Up top, there's Schwieger, who splashes in a three.
Beautiful shot there from up top. And Valparaiso really making it rain here from behind the arc, shooting 50% here.
Deflection, Jonovic collects, he draws the double, zips it to a cutting Hanna, who lays it in with the offhand.
Love that from Darius Hanna, stays active, understands that his teammate might be in trouble, makes himself available, and gets an easy bucket.
McNair, who hit that near half quarter against Western Michigan, as Matt mentioned, comes up empty on his first attempt. Jaquan Johnson, the freshman, splits a pair of defenders, gets it to Hanna in the corner. He's backing his way in to Jonovic. Here's Birch. The Milwaukee connection trying to be on display here as Hanna will shoot two. Out of the timeouts, 10:46 to go here in the half. The Beacons with a 5-point lead here on the road.
This is ludicrous.
Ludicrous. All right, who called for ludicrous?
Sorry, we went.
This is ludicrous.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't tell Ludacris what's ludicrous. Ludacris tells you what's ludicrous.
Okay.
Oh, that is ludicrous. You don't need me for this. Hang on. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Good thing you have State Farm. Just file a claim on the app or call us.
Guess I can go.
Don't you mean roll out?
No, I don't.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome to the Playground Showdown. On today's field, we have Mom versus her pint-sized powerhouse Timmy. Mom takes off like a blur, and oh, looks like she's hurt her foot, and is now showing us an impromptu dance.
Whether your game is on the basketball court or the playground, get back to it with world-class orthopedic care. Brought to you by OSF Healthcare and Great Plains Orthopedics, official sports medicine providers for Bradley Athletics. Find care now at osfhealthcare.org/orthocare.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with the Ford crew.
Maverick, Ranger.
Another truckload of trucks?
Big event needs big selection. Right, like the Ford F-Series. Best-selling trucks for 47 years. Gas, hybrid, electric, and big selection means great deals. Exactly, which means it's the best time to buy.
Choose Flex Buy on F-150 and get 1.9% for 66 months plus 1,000 Flex Buy cash and 1,000 holiday bonus cash. Only at your local Ford dealer.
18-13, Valpo with the lead. You get a look at the Bradley huddle, and Brian Wardle in his 10th year here in Peoria. Of course, the coach of the year in the Valley a couple of years ago, leading the preseason favorite in the league. Continues to climb the ranks at Bradley when it comes to overall wins, wins in the Valley, as well, climbing up that leaderboard. You also see associated head coaches Mike Bargan, Jimmy Foster, assistant Mike Black in there as well. And again, this group has made this place a home court advantage. And again, it's early on, but this team figures to be right in it the entire way. And what's exciting is we've talked about throughout the course of some broadcasts is we know that this team's track record is to play their best basketball in February and in March. That's just been the case under this coaching staff. And while it's been a great start to the year at 10-2, the most exciting part, Matt, might be is that they haven't peaked yet. They're not at their ceiling. There's areas that they can improve at, and they know at, and they typically do when we get to the latter portions of the season.
It's scary if it continues to improve that way like it has. You know, we've seen this team make some big-time runs in March, and like you said, Brian, just continually find ways to improve and get better. When we talked to Brian Wardle before the game, we said, you know, what's maybe become some of the things that you guys can improve on, and trust me, there are still plenty of things that they want to try to improve on as the season goes. They're not taking this 10-2 start as a way of saying, hey, you know, we have this all figured out. There's a lot of room for improvement. The sky's the limit for this program this season.
Schwieger tries another, not this time. And here's Birch, the sophomore, to bring it up. Demarion Birch, who missed some time towards the beginning of the year with an injury, has come back and in his normal role back off the bench for the Braves. Hanna with the short baby hook, too strong. Batted out, last touch by Jonovic. And it'll go back over to the Beacons as Seth will come in for Carson Schwieger. Darius Diavera will bring it up. He started all 32 games last year. He's come off the bench for the Beacons this year. second in the league in assists last year. He's 12th all-time in Valpo history. McNair bodying his way in, spatted by Hannah. A late whistle is going to go against Demarion Birch.
Yeah, Birch comes in on the help. And it looked like that was kind of just a one-on-one assignment there for Hannah. Did a great job blocking that shot. Nonetheless, going to be a trip to the free throw line for McNair.
He's been there 14 times. He's made 9 of them. Actually went to the same high school as Roger Powell Jr.
Yeah, we talked about McNair earlier in that half-court shot that ended up the game winner against Central Michigan. But he came in that game off of the bench. You know, Valpo is still down 10 points with about, 4 minutes to go. And McNair scored all 13 of his points in that game in that final 4-minute stretch. So a guy who can really heat up off of the bench and a nice little scoring prowess when they need somebody to come in from that second unit.
Here's Jaquan Johnson's going to receive the screen. And a staggered one on the ball. Johnson spinning in the lane, scoops it up, had it blocked by Diavero. But it'll stay with Bradley with 12 to shoot.
Yeah, Jaquan Johnson able to get into the lane. One hand behind his back, too. It looked like the defender trailing him, had a little grab on him. Instead, blocked shot, and now 12 seconds to operate here for the Braves.
Out of bounds, it'll stay with Bradley. They'll switch it to the sideline. It'll be a more difficult entry now for the Braves and Zeke Montgomery.
Got some nice length with Shaw in the corner as well, making it difficult. That's not too difficult for Birch, though.
Tries the reverse, had it blocked. Flying in is Johnson to keep it alive. Shot clock down to 4. Montgomery in and out. Thomas keeps it alive. Shaw tries to wrestle it away. It'll be a jump ball, and it'll go back over to Valpo. That one was, I wouldn't see halfway down. That felt 3/4 of the way down, so now it dropped.
Yeah, rattled several times. I love the effort there from the Braves there. A couple of extra effort moves to keep that play alive, but it's an empty possession. Now Valpo has a chance to extend this 4-point lead.
Backdoor cut underneath. No, but a foul as Devon Ellis will head to the line.
Really nice recognition there by Ellis. Sepp has the ball up top, sees the defender and Allison just kind of asleep a little bit, looking at the ball, and there you go. Backdoor, gets beat. Allison with a good foul, going to make him earn it with a trip to the charity stripe.
69%. Last year at Maryland Eastern Shore. Valpo now 4 of 8 from the foul line. Braves have made both of their free throws here in the first half. 1 of 2 for Ellis. Back to a 5-point lead, which matches the largest of the half for the Beacons. Johnson one-on-one with Diavero on him. Near the timeline, tries to get by Diavero, kicks it in the corner. Birch has it blocked. And believe it or not, that counts as a shot attempt. That's the first missed three-pointer of the season from Demarion Birch. He came in 6 of 6.
And McNair with an excellent play here. Close out the shooter. The right hand gets it up in time. Blocked that one away.
Dean. Montgomery goes baseline. Backing, fading, and can't get the bounce. Sepp the rebound, and here come the Beacons running. Switching courts here, Shaw and Thomas out of nowhere, but I believe it would actually hit the baseline. And it'll stay with Valpo as the Beacons try to get out in transition. Good help by Thomas.
Yeah, you talked about it early in the game, Brian, how Valpo wants to try to get out in transition. You see right there, Sepp doing a nice job getting all the way. Excuse me. It's going to be Shaw doing a great job getting all the way to the hoop. Can't get that one to go. But you can see kind of what they're trying to do there, and a quick shot here by Shaw.
Hit the baseline. It'll go back over to Bradley. Montgomery felt helpless.
There
was nothing he could do because he was out of bounds.
He's like, do I touch it? No, I'm just going to let this one go.
I hope it hit the baseline. It did.
Yeah, Carver Arena faithful trying to inspire the Braves here a little bit. Down by 5, trying to get some energy going in the building.
Thomas looked to slip the screen. Corner 3, Dean. No. McNair gets it into Shaw. Diavero looked forward, nothing doing. Good transition D by the Braves. Pick and pop. Sepp thought about it, gives to Shaw. He lost it and couldn't save it. Could Atlas, and it'll stay with the Beacons.
They give Valpo a lot of credit here in the first 12 minutes of the game, kind of dictating the pace of the contest right now. Bradley, on the other hand, offensively, kind of struggling at 33% from the field. They've been getting some quality looks, just haven't been able to get them to go. And on the defensive side of the floor, it's really what keeping the Braves kind of in striking distance right now and kind of just making Valpo shoot some high difficulty shots.
Yeah, that's going to happen, right? Matt, as
sure.
Prolific as an offensive team Bradley can be and has been. There's going to be halves or spurts of a game when the shooting goes a little bit cold, but the defense has been really, really good the last couple of trips and has improved as that one is in and out. As Corey Thomas gets the rebound, that has kept the Braves within 5. Well anticipated right there by De La Cruz Monegro, and Bradley will have it. Out of the timeout here. Good start for the Beacons, 12 plus in. They have a 5-point lead here in Peoria. Five-point lead for the Beacons. Brian Beto, Matt McLean with you here in Peoria on a near full slate of Valley games. We have mostly intra-conference games. There's one non-conference game as the Braves will actually be in Terre Haute on New Year's Day to take on Indiana State. The Sycamores fell at Ohio State by 20 this afternoon, but other finals in Northern Iowa with an 11-point win at home against SIU. And last I checked, Drake was handling Belmont at half in Des Moines. Montgomery backing his way in and took advantage of the size advantage underneath, and he gets his first field goal.
Yeah, I love that recognition. Understands Monegro's on him. Got a couple of inches of height differential on him. Just backs down, plays the active passing lane there. Gets a little steal, and out in transition now, Montgomery.
A bucket and a stop for the Braves. Dean clapping for it. Recovered well by the Beacons. Opposite the screen goes Montgomery. Davis, who has 6, puts it on the floor. High touch. Dean, open 3. Yes! And they're going to call an offensive foul on Hannah.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. It's a little two-man game between Dean and Hannah, and it's a little quick give and go. So you'll watch here, Hannah slides it off to Dean, who's coming around the corner. And as he's making the pass, just kind of shifts over to get set for the screen. That's a tough one. One of them could go either way. And they're going to get it on Hannah, who goes to the bench now.
That's a tough break.
Yeah, Bradley needed that 3 ball as well, too. Dean put it up and in. Would have been a tie ball game. Could have the Braves some momentum, get some energy in this crowd.
Schmidt.
That's great help defense again.
Very quick by Dean. Downhill for Montgomery. Wright is defending him. He goes up, and that's a bucket for Zeke Montgomery as Wright was trying to draw the offensive foul. The officials didn't buy it. Zeke's got the last 4 for the Braves. They're within 1.
That's one of those situations where Valpo's got a couple of guards who play a little bit smaller size, and Montgomery does an excellent job there recognizing for a second consecutive possession. As you see Seth, who's absolutely filling it up for the Beacons, a game-high 9 points now.
A lot of those coming on floaters.
Montgomery
Quick move
again,
by
why not?
Montgomery squares up and scores. 6 straight for Montgomery, who's doing anything he wants on that end of the floor the last few trips to try to get this offense going. We know he's someone that can get his own shot and create offense when the team needs it, and it's been on display here.
Just put him down on the block. I mean, he's playing down there like he's 6'10", just backing down his defender. Really nice touch down the paint there.
Sepp gets his man in the air, but traveled.
Yeah, that's just the first, Bradley's been playing a couple active passing lanes here now. The 3rd turnover for Valpo. They had 0 before that last media timeout, and now the Braves have turned them over on 3 of the last 4 possessions. That's what Bradley's really got to do. One of the keys of the game, obviously, for Valpo was to limit those turnovers as they have all season with under 10 per game. But Bradley's defense has woke up here a little bit.
Allison gets space. Gets his man in the air, no, and it bounces off and lands into the lap of Schmidt. Shaw the other way. Trying to get by Atlason. Wright tries a 3. And it's run down by the Beacons. Another 3, this time a good box out by the Braves. Dean gets the rebound. Dean with the hesitation. Step back deuce is good.
Yeah, hand right in his face. Wright had the hand there. Nothing you can do about that one. Duke Dean just rises up and gives the Braves their first lead of the ball game.
Wright working off the screen. Goes in, and it blocked by Davis, who leads the team in that category. Whistle and a foul away from the ball. It's going to go on Valpo. That's just the 4th team foul on the Beacons. As McNair comes back, and we'll see our first appearance for Connor Dillon here this afternoon. A 5th-year player, a transfer from Winona State. Prolific score there.
Yeah, had a really nice game off the bench against Canisius as well.
Dean takes the handoff. Plenty of time, 18 to shoot. Sepp is on him. There's an advantage for Jonovic if they can find him. They do, and the help is too aggressive from All Right.
That's an excellent job there by Jonovic to seal off the defenders. Got him on the weak hip and just puts the left hand up. Says, throw it right here. The Braves oblige, get it down to him, and draws the foul.
Montgomery to inbound. Dillon. Dean in the corner.
They got the mismatch again with Jonovic instead. 3-ball, no good, Montgomery.
Schmidt has it deflected. Dillon chases it down and takes it away. Dillon to the rack, gives it to Montgomery, who lays it in.
Awesome play by Connor Dillon, and Roger Powell needs a timeout. Love the energy off the bench by Dillon. Gets the steal in transition, draws in 2 defenders underneath the hoop, makes an excellent pass to the trailing Zeke Montgomery. Get another look at this play. Connor Dillon, eyes in the back of his head, able to find Montgomery right under the hoop for the easy bucket.
So we'll take the timeout with them. Bradley in the midst of a 10-2 run, and they lead by 3 here in Peoria.
There's one quality we all want from an auto repair shop. Honesty, right? At Peoria Tire and Vulcanizing, everything we do is to earn your trust. Whether changing your car's oil, putting new tires on your tractor, or maintaining your commercial vehicles, we do it with integrity at Peoria Tire, like we've done for 100 years. Give us a call right now, and we'll get you set up with an appointment. Honesty, the original way to do business. From the original Peoria Tire.
Since 1991, St. Louis has served as the gateway to the best men's basketball tournament, Arch Madness. Experience buzzer beaters, madness, and Missouri Valley Conference glory. And it begins here. The 2025 State Farm MVC Men's Basketball Tournament, presented by Credit Union One and Great Southern Bank, tips off March 6th through the 9th. Celebrate 35 years of Arch Madness. Get your tickets now at archmadness.com.
Welcome to the Playground Showdown. On today's field, we have Mom versus her pint-sized powerhouse, Timmy. Mom takes off like a blur, and oh, looks like she's hurt her foot, and is now showing us an impromptu dance.
Whether your game is on the basketball court or the playground, get back to it with world-class orthopedic care. Brought to you by OSF Healthcare and Great Plains Orthopedics, official sports medicine providers for Bradley Athletics. Find care now at osfhealthcare.org/orthocare.
Bradley now with a 3-point lead. Connor Dillon and the rest of the Braves defense has really sparked this rally by the Braves as Valpo has led the majority of the half.
And Brian Beto almost kind of souvenir.
Nearly. And but Bradley now 3-point lead. Get another look at the play just before that last Roger Powell timeout.
Yeah, and we see the hustle by Dillon, excellent vision, and Zeke Montgomery has pretty much taken over this game single-handedly. You know, 4 of the last maybe 6 possessions Bradley's had, it's been Zeke Montgomery getting down to the hoop and scoring easy buckets. All 8 of his points in that last little 4-minute stretch for the Braves. They're really starting to heat up on the offensive side of the floor.
Braves limiting the Beacons to now 33% from the floor. De La Cruz Monegro. Right, worked over the screen, did Dean, nicely done. 11 to shoot. The defensive sequence by Bradley so far, going up with the right and nearly getting it to go as De La Cruz Monegro couldn't finish. And now the Braves to push the other way. Dean walks into a 3.
It's a good look for Duke Dean as well in transition. One of his go-to shots. Was unable to get that one to go and felt like if Bradley could have got that one in, almost would have been a huge momentum swing for him.
The foul's going to go on the entry pass. And that's going to send Valpo to the line. That's the 7th team foul on Bradley as Davis, Hanna, and Johnson will come back for the Braves. Cooper Schwieger, who's been limited in the first half due to 2 early fouls, will come in. He's at 82%. He had 21 and 13 against Calumet College of St. Joseph. He actually had a double-double in that game with 7:27 remaining in the first half.
Pretty efficient.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah, the reigning MVC Freshman of the Year as well, too, comes back from a Valpo team last year that under the first year under Roger Powell trying to get a couple of things figured out with their identity. And a great building piece is Schwieger, a guy who can really score at will for the Beacons.
Valpo tries to switch things up on defense and shave a little bit off the shot clock to start this possession for the Braves.
And Valpo, sometimes they switch into this, it's kind of a 1-3-1 zone that once it gets to the ball, gets to the wings, it kind of flattens out to be a 2-3. You see a lot of success here with extra passes from Bradley.
Jonovic fading. Too strong. De La Cruz Monegro. And the Braves will switch it up. In traffic, McNair, no, tipped out back to McNair again, and he gets the bounce. And Valpo reclaims a 1-point lead.
It's now 5 offensive rebounds that Valpo has been able to pull down. And the extra pass there to the corner to Dillon,
who nails a 3 from the corner. What a move and find by the freshman Johnson, and Dillon makes the Beacons pay his first triple, the second of the half for the Braves, who go back up by 2.
Yeah, I love that from Johnson, keeping the dribble alive and keeping his eyes up. Sees a wide open teammate in the corner, and Dillon will knock those down with consistency if you give him some space.
De La Cruz Monegro. All right. Heading to the right side. Steps back. Tough shot. Schwieger's got to get it off. He doesn't. And a great defensive possession by Bradley will force a 30-second shot clock violation. It's become a staple. I feel like there's at least 1 or 2 or 3 of those per game, Bradley defensively. You get another look on the other end, though.
Yeah, and that's just all Jaquan Johnson right there, doing an excellent job keeping the dribble alive. You see how much attention that he gets from the defense every time he's dribbling. And my goodness, draws an extra defender over and finds the extra man that's wide open in the corner. Bradley's done an excellent job of moving the basketball here in the last 5 or 6 minutes to get some quality looks. And again, operating against the zone, trying to figure it out here with about 10 to shoot.
Dillon tries another. Montgomery brings it down. He pulls it out. Back to Montgomery. Thought about it. Spins in the lane. Goes up. No.
Man.
And he's relentless on the offensive glass, and he's fouled on the floor. There's 11 to shoot for Bradley. They just reset the shot clock, however.
I love that possession there by Zeke Montgomery. One of the things that started in the beginning of that possession, they realized Valpo's in this zone defense. And Zeke Montgomery did a great job of setting an unselfish screen. That led to the Dillon 3-ball. Couldn't go, but he kept that possession alive several different times, just like Thomas is here.
Dillon for 3.
That's good. Wow. What a possession for the Braves. Dillon knocks down another 3-ball, and it's all by hustle right now as Bradley being able to get back into this one and take control of the game.
5-point lead. Valpo trying to finish strong. Kicked in the corner. The answer attempt is no good by Diavero. Sepp is there. De La Cruz Monegro, no. And a whistle and a foul is going to go on Christian Davis on the rebound.
And both of these teams right now relying on some extra effort. We've seen the offensive rebounds by both squads. Sepp keeps this play alive. Able to get it over to Shaw. He's going to draw the foul, gets to the free throw line yet again. Brian Wardle not happy with that call, but both these teams playing very physical right now, and you see that by the fouls.
In any event, it will be one of the bonus for Shaw, who's 10 of 12 from the line in his 5th year. He actually spent the last 3 years at Grand Canyon under Bryce Drew. That's actually his uncle, is Bryce Drew, the grandson of Homer Drew, the Valpo legends, as you all know, and averaging just under 7 points per game.
Opportunity for Bradley here. They usually go quality over quantity. They could get a quick 2-for-1 with about a 15-second differential if they're quick.
Davis to Dillon. Johnson opposite the screen, finds space and lays it off the glass and in. Look at him explode to the basket, and an offensive foul is going to be called on Diavero, trying to get out quickly in transition, recognized by Montgomery. And how about the last several minutes from Zeke Montgomery on both ends of the floor, Matt?
Yeah, Brian Worrell's going to take his use it or lose it timeout here, but I was just going to say, Brian, Zeke Montgomery's basketball IQ has always been very high, but he is on fire here the last 5 or 6 minutes for the Braves. Heads-up play after heads-up play, several great screens, some offensive rebounds. He's been taking his defender down to the post when he realizes he's got a mismatch. And then right there, Jaquan Johnson almost breaks down the defense by himself with the easy bucket. And then Valpo thinks they're going to get out in transition. Zeke Montgomery says, I don't think so. Sees the inbounds pass coming and sets up for the charge. Just really, really high IQ play by Zeke Montgomery. Those are winning plays that sometimes go unnoticed that you need in your program from your veteran leadership, and Zeke Montgomery is putting it on showcase this afternoon.
Yeah, and Zeke Montgomery has, no exaggeration, been in Division I games the best three-point shooter in the country. He's 0 of 2 today, but that's not affecting his impact on this first half. He does have 8 points. You see the play right there, forcing the turnover. Also has 2 steals, 2 rebounds, and now the Braves can hold for the final shot here. They put the shot clock at 20, but it should be off, Matt. And I don't know if they recognize that because that's a turnover with under a second left. So this is, I think, unless I'm missing something, this is a mistake.
Yeah, Bradley scored out of bounds to Valpo. They had possession.
And they get the steal.
We'll see what happens here.
And this is going to force Bradley to shoot earlier than they want to.
But regardless of the discrepancy here, Bradley with 3.5 seconds now. And Valparaiso is going to get an extra possession out of this.
And that forced Bradley to shoot it early. And Shaw gets it the other way. Taken away by Johnson, but they're going to whistle a foul.
Well, that's everybody okay after that collision. Johnson dove in there. I think he got a lot of ball, but also catches the wrist to get another look here. Excellent effort here by Shaw to get out in transition. Whew. A lot of ball on that one. Also grab a little bit of the wrist as Shaw's going to go to the line.
So that's a huge break for the Beacons as the Bradley was forced to shoot early. Should not have been. Shot clock should have been turned off. But the players, they had to play what's on the clock.
Yeah, that's right. You got to go through some adversity sometimes, and maybe an unfortunate break for Bradley. It goes the way of Valpo here. Able to get this free throw potentially in the hopper to make it a one-possession game going into the break.
So Shaw tries to take advantage. He's been to the line here a couple of times now in the last minute. Go 3 from the floor, but now 4 of 4 from the stripe to get Valpo within 3 with 1.8 to go. Corey Thomas is going to inbound. He's able to run the baseline.
See if Bradley can get something towards half court here. Try to get a catch instead. It's going to be Dean from three-quarter court.
See if he can give Valpo a taste of his own medicine. He can!
How about that? Talk about beating the buzzer. Duke Dean.
Championship with Bradley upending Valparaiso in Arch Madness. That was the second straight MVC tournament title for the Braves. One of those members of that team for Bradley on the bench for the Braves and Darryl Brown Jr.
Yeah, he's a pretty good one as well.
And here's Duke Dean, who hit that near full court shot to end the half. This one much closer from 3, no good. As Montgomery, who had 8 points in the first half, comes up empty on his first attempt. And here's Allwright. The Braves did a really good job defensively, making life very difficult on Allwright in that first half. Schmidt gets it in underneath, backing his way into Schwieger, and he traveled.
Yeah, interesting there from Schwieger. He established some really nice position there in the paint. His feet just moved quicker than he was able to dribble, and an unfortunate turnover. You see Valpo open up the first half, the second half rather, in their zone defense. And it looks like maybe some zone here again as well. It's kind of an extended 1-3-1, sags into a 2-3. Let's see what kind of defensive looks they can give the Braves here.
Stepping out in the corner is Hanna. He hit one of those in the first half. Schmidt recognizes that and closes it down. Zipped over to Montgomery, same spot, different result as he buries his first triple of the afternoon.
Really well done there by Zeke Montgomery. Comes into the game shooting 55% from behind the arc. And late in the shot clock, you're not going to get a much better look than that for the sharpshooter.
And now Dean steps in front of that one. 9-point lead now for the Braves. Squaring up is Hanna, puts it on the floor, backs his way in, goes up with the offhand, and it rolls off. Allwright the rebound, and he'll push it the other way for the Beacons. Zipped inside to Schwieger, who goes up, counted in the foul.
Yeah, what I really like there by Schwieger as well, he catches and immediately goes for the shot fake. He knows all about Darius Hanna and his blocking prowess. You get a look here. Wright does a nice job of recycling the basketball, and been really impressed with Sepp this afternoon as well, too, in his distribution. Obviously, we saw him score 9 points in the first half, but does a nice job there of finding his teammate. The chance for the old-fashioned three-point play, but doesn't get the free throw to go.
As Atlason gets the board, Schwieger with 6 points and has 3 fouls. Dean sidesteps a 3 and buries one from the top.
That's so tough for Bradley right there to come off that screen. And Valpo switches it, but kind of just trails Dean a little bit. You can't give him that much space. The preseason All-Valley player is going to knock that one down.
The Braves lead by double digits for the first time today as Dean now has 8 points, 3 of 6 shooting for the Valley's preseason player of the year, 2 of 4 from 3, 2 rebounds and assists, and a pair of steals for the senior.
Yeah, it's just really good awareness for Bradley right now, too. Everything that they're doing is coming off of screens, and they're getting some mismatches here off of the switches, and Dean's going to try to take right here.
Thomas spots up. And Schmidt the board. Schmidt, the 5th-year player, the local kid from Valpo. All right. The pick and pop set. We had a great first half for the Beacon. Schmidt pinning his defender to his back, dribbles out, gets it inside to Schwieger. The Braves close on him. He's been in there for a bit. Gets the bucket with the right hand. Strong move by Schwieger.
Yeah, that was really, really good offense. Getting better, part of a good defense there as well, too. So Bradley, nice job sticking with that, but the patience by Schwieger there in the lane flips it up. And they got a mismatch with Atlas, and instead he's going to set the screen from Montgomery getting downhill. The deflection out of bounds. It's going to be a reset here for the Braves. 10 to go.
And thankfully, nicely done by Schmidt, because Davis was standing all alone for an open corner 3 attempt. Christian Davis, senior out of Denver, who's had just a remarkable start to the year. And naturally, I say that as he turns it over.
Nice
and
play by Schmidt.
De La Cruz Monegro with the teardrop and the bucket. Valpo's had some success with those finesse shots here in this one. Sepp's had a few. De La Cruz Monegro gets one there. Dean gets space and makes it look easy underneath.
That's just unfortunate there by the Beacon. Somehow Schwieger ends up guarding Dean on the perimeter. And with 2 fouls in the first half, he's playing a little bit off of Dean as well, too. So that's all the separation Duke Dean needs to get right by him for the easy bucket.
He joins Montgomery in double figures. Dean with 10, Zeke with 11. Schmidt forces one up and somehow gets it to go. Nicely done by Tyler Schmidt. An NAIA All-American twice in his 4 years at Olivet Nazarene, coming home to play in his 5th year. Dean launches and connects from 3.
He's on fire.
He's got it going.
All he needed was that 3/4 court shot, Brian. That gets him going. But Duke Dean, my goodness, here to start the first half is on fire. And Bradley switching up the defense a little bit, goes into the zone, and Valpo, a really nice job there recognizing it, and they find Schwieger wide open on the baseline, who's able to flip it up and in.
Schwieger, the first Beacon in double figures, now has 10. Came in averaging 13 a game. Dean, top of the circle.
They got Schwieger on him again, and Dean's really feeling it.
Right the board. Weaving his way in, defended well by Dean. Schwieger now in the paint. Goes up with the right, and that one bounces off. See if the Braves push. Dean flips it to Atlason. Now Montgomery using the ball screen from Thomas, and there's a whistle on an offensive foul. That's going to go on Corey Thomas, and it'll be Valparaiso basketball out of the timeout. 14:40 to go. The Braves led by 6 at the break. They've expanded that by 1, leading by 7 in Peoria.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
Well, I go to school full-time. While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
BK melts. Wanna warm up? This sure helps. Classic bacon, shroom, and Swiss. BK melt season is tasty bliss. BK, have it your way.
Being an artist is part philosopher, part someone that manipulates material.
I work specifically in metals. I needed a truck to move sculptures like peso neto, which means net weight. Por eso tengo un ram. It also allows me to move the weight of my message. But most importantly, it allows me to sustain the weight of my culture. We're built to serve.
Who can solve this equation?
Ooh! Me.
Anyone else? Fine. Jake from State Farm. Again.
All right. It's the personal price plan theorem. If you bundle your home and auto, that can equal an affordable price just for you.
Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
TJ. JJ.
Lateral races. Brutal.
TJ.
It's time to play offense. Turn it up. Whoa, let's cool it, you two.
Mom.
Don't forget, Arch Madness takes place March 6th through the 9th at Enterprise Center in St. Louis. Get your all-session tickets now and save nearly $25 by calling 309-677-2625 or order online at bradleybraves.com. Support the Braves and experience the madness. If you're thinking of going to St. Louis, this is just my monologue at this point. Don't wait. Save some money while you can. Get those early tickets. As the Braves, who have a 7-point lead, defending on Schwieger, they collapse on him. De La Cruz Monegro to the glass and in. He's so good at getting in there, and he finishes with the right to get the Beacons within 5.
Yeah, really nice job there by Monegro, getting downhill for the easy bucket, get the Beacons offense back on track here.
Pick and roll for Jonovic, and they get Valpo for a foul. That actually ends up. Too bad there's no. This isn't soccer where you could play advantage, because that would have been an easy, uncontested dunk for Jonovic.
Yeah, but you see what Bradley's trying to do there. They understand that Valpo's going to hedge off of a lot of screens and try to switch. So Jonovic does a nice job of slipping that screen, and it's actually a really good foul there before they can get to the open man to prevent the easy bucket for the Braves. And now Davis has a one-on-one here on the baseline. He's going to really like that matchup instead.
Atlason had a good look, batted out. That's going to stay with Bradley with 20 to shoot.
Yeah, Jonovic had excellent positioning there for that offensive rebound attempt. If it wasn't for Monegro coming over and knocking that one away.
Jonovic hands to Davis. They switch as they're accustomed to. Dillon with the offhand, and it spun off. Diavero. Monegro, and he got stuffed by the rim, and a whistle and a foul is called on Jonovic. As De La Cruz Monegro was trying to go hard in the paint.
Love that aggressiveness, and actually the help side defense comes over and gets the foul. They're going to take a second look at this just to make sure there wasn't any maliciousness on that block attempt.
It did not appear at all to that be the case.
I think it's kind of one of those where any contact in the head, they're going to maybe be a little precautionary and take a look at it just in case. Looked like a really clean basketball play there coming over on the block attempt as you get another look. What do you guys think at home?
No. I mean, it comes
maybe
down
a little
to that,
bit
but
of
it's certainly a play on the ball. He actually gets part of the ball. Certainly a foul.
Yeah. And maybe they have another angle you can see from the baseline potentially if Jonovic catches him with the elbow, but clearly coming over and trying to get, this might be a better angle here. Common foul, yep.
For the officials.
That definitely is going after the ball there. Really clean play by Jonovic. Unfortunate contact in the head.
Give the Beacons credit here. Bradley got the lead up to double digits at 10. Crowd was into it. Everything seemed to be trending in that direction for the Braves momentum-wise. And Beacons have slowly started to reel themselves back into this one, and now De La Cruz Monegro, an outstanding free throw shooter, will go to the line to try to get Valpo to within 3 points. This is a team that's 8th in the country in free throw percentage coming in. They're 11 of 16 from the line today. De La Cruz Monegro, 2 of 2. Again, came in at 80%. And that's a 80% with high volume as well, as Hannah comes back in for Jonovic. And Valpo's won their last 2. This is their 4th game of the year against teams from Illinois. DePaul, that one was one of their 5 losses, but games and wins against Eastern Illinois and Northern Illinois. And they've clawed within 3 here in Peoria. The double out to Dillon. He's left alone. Davis throws it off of Schmidt and keeps it alive for the Braves.
Really like that offensive look there by the Braves, coming off the double screen, and Dillon's wide open for the 3-1. He's going to knock down there from the wing, unable to get it to go. Nice pass by Dean, and then an extra effort here by Christian Davis, keeping this play alive, and a smart heads-up play to get another possession here for the Braves.
They're looking for the matchup. 6 to shoot. In the corner, Dillon runs off the defender, finds Hannah, who lays it in as the shot clock expires.
Yeah, that's great patience by Connor Dillon as well, too. He understands less than 5 seconds. He should probably go get the shot. Instead, drives down the baseline a little bit. Defense sags. There's plenty of time for Hannah to flip it up and in.
A 3 from the corner is no good. Davis secures the rebound. In transition, the trail man is Davis. Dillon again running baseline. Good ball movement by the Braves.
Yeah.
Dean wide open for 3. And Schmidt the board as the Beacons dodge a huge bullet, Matt.
But you see exactly what Bradley's trying to do on the offensive end. A lot is coming off of dribble penetration, a lot of ball screens, extra passes as well. That's a really good look for the Braves, and Valpo's going to try to answer.
In the corner, sidestep 3 for Schmidt, a little bit short. Hannah with his first board to go along with 11 points. Braves get it around the horn. Dean right wing, gets the screen from Hannah. Needs some help, finds Davis. Underneath to Hannah. Back up top, Atlason quickly on the floor. Is held on his way in. And a foul on the Beacons. And it'll be Bradley basketball. When we come back, 11:49 to go. Braves holding on to a 5-point lead.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with the Ford crew.
Maverick, Ranger.
Another truckload of trucks?
Big event needs big selection. Right, like the Ford F-Series. Best-selling trucks for 47 years. Gas, hybrid, electric, and big selection means great deals. Exactly, which means it's the best time to buy.
Choose Flex Buy on F-150 and get 1.9% for 66 months plus 1,000 Flex Buy cash and 1,000 holiday bonus cash. Only at your local Ford dealer.
There's one quality we all want from an auto repair shop. Honesty, right? At Peoria Tire and Vulcanizing, everything we do is to earn your trust. Whether changing your car's oil, putting new tires on your tractor, or maintaining your commercial vehicles, we do it with integrity at Peoria Tire, like we've done for 100 years. Give us a call right now, and we'll get you set up with an appointment. Honesty, the original way to do business. From the original Peoria Tire.
I started in 1951 when I was 14 years old. A gentleman by the name of Joe O'Brien, he told me, he said, I've had planes, I've had motorhomes, I've had big houses, I've had little houses, Wayne. He said, I've had everything that I've ever wanted, but he said, I've never appreciated anything more than a motorcycle. You get on it, you go where you want to go, and you don't have to answer to anybody. Sometimes you can call it work, Other times it's just a pleasure to do what you do every day.
Welcome to the Playground Showdown. On today's field, we have Mom versus her pint-sized powerhouse, Timmy. Mom takes off like a blur, and oh, looks like she's hurt her foot, and is now showing us an impromptu dance.
Whether your game is on the basketball court or the playground, get back to it with world-class orthopedic care. Brought to you by OSF Healthcare and Great Plains Orthopedics, official sports medicine providers for Bradley Athletics. Find care now at osfhealthcare.org/orthocare.
$11:49 to go. Bradley on top of Valparaiso, 49-44. The Braves led by 6 at halftime. Bradley 8-0 this year when they do lead at the half. The lead did balloon to as many as 10. Valpo got it down to 3. It sits at 5. Bradley basketball with 20 to shoot. Jaquan Johnson at the fake handoff, step back, thought from Dillon, working on McNair. Dillon, crafty off the glass and good.
Yeah, I didn't see anything going offensively. He says, I'm going to take my man baseline, back him down a little bit. A little crafty move with the lefty finish.
He's got 8 points off the bench for the Braves.
And a healthy Connor Dillon is a big boost for the Bradley Braves program, and get that scoring coming off of the bench, and you see how much energy he plays with. It's really infectious.
Shaw no good. Sepp the offensive rebound. The Beacons have missed their last 10 threes by my count.
And that's now a 4th offensive rebound of the game for Sepp. Keeping a lot of plays alive and going to try to take this one now one-on-one.
Good hands by Jaquan Johnson. We've seen that a lot. It stays in possession of Valpo, and that one just too strong on the finger roll attempt. Good hustle underneath by both sides. Tie up, it'll stay with the Beacons. And Valpo will wipe up that wet spot on the floor. You get another look. Good hustle.
Yeah, really nice hustle there, staying in the play there by Jefferson De La Cruz Monegro. He misses the lay-in, but the tenacity to stay with it earned his team another opportunity on the offensive end. And Valpo needs a bucket here. As Brian mentioned, kind of cold from behind the arc, but they've really thrived in the mid-range game. You see Monegro knock another one down from 10 foot. He's really been going there for the paint.
Yeah, that push shot puts him into double figures with 10. Johnson working on Sepp, muscles his way up, and he'll shoot 2.
I really think Jaquan Johnson just always looks for contact.
Always.
He's just a tenacious driver of the basketball, and he understands he's got a bigger defender guarding him right here, so he's either going to go right by him or he's going to draw the contact. And an excellent job here by the freshman. Get downhill, get a trip to the free throw line.
And you feel like that's a skill that doesn't usually develop till the latter portion of your collegiate career. But Johnson, ever since day 1, has had that mentality. He leads the Braves in foul attempts.
Yeah, and he gets that one to go. And it's one of those mentalities. You come in as a freshman, you understand, hey, you were the big man on campus in high school, really filled it up a lot. You see the Carver Arena faithful giving a hand to Connor Dillon. Appreciate his hard work out there. And, you know, Johnson's just one of those guys who has no quit in him. He's what the players call and the coach call is an absolute dog out there, a guy who just is always giving his all for the program.
Had a memorable debut for the Braves, 15 points against SEMO in his college debut.
And then in his Valley debut as well, too. A really excellent showing at SIU in that game where Duke Dean had to leave due to a head injury, and due to that performance was the Valley Freshman of the Week.
Shaw's cut up, had it knocked away. Shaw goes up, and a whistle. And a 5-second call, I think, is what they just called.
Oh, that's an excellent job there by Hannah. I love how physical he is on this one with Shaw. Shaw's looking for somewhere to go, and the very, very rare 5-second call. Got to give the tip of the cap there to Darius Hannah. Excellent defense.
The Braves trying to extend their 7-point lead. High ball screen coming from Atlason. Here's another one coming from Hannah.
Yep, and there's the switch. If they can get it down low, working a little high-low, get it to Zeke Montgomery, go one-on-one.
Defended well by De La Cruz Monegro. 5 to shoot. Dean's got to go. He fades, has it blocked by All Right. Ripped away by Dean, throws one up, and he gets bailed out with the foul.
Wow, what a play there by Duke Dean. That is a backbreaker right there. Valparaiso plays 29 excellent seconds of defense. Roger Powell and his staff can't believe the foul call on that one. That is a total backbreaker. Dean does an excellent job of just trying to get that shot
Dean
up.
had to do what he had to do, right?
Yeah, and feels the pressure from behind. He's going to draw the foul. A nice heads-up play there by Dean, but one of those, if you're Valpo, that is just a heartbreaker.
Dean, who joined the 1,000-point club in the Braves win against Canisius right before Christmas. Quite an extraordinary accomplishment by Dean.
1,000 points in 2.5 years at Bradley. I mean, it's just a prolific scorer, an excellent player, an even better guy off of the court, Duke Dean is, and a leader in this program by example.
He's got a game-high 13 points. 85% foul shooter, gets 1 of 2. He had 10 points and 8 assists in the matchup against the Beacons last year.
Bradley throws a little three-quarter court token pressure, try to get Valpo to work a little bit more and fall back into man-to-man.
All Right is bumped on his way in on the pass. That's going to go against Atlason, the 4th on Bradley of the half. That matches the Beacons 4. So it'll be out of bounds. Underneath for the Beacons with 20 to shoot. Baseline cut from Schwieger. Goes baseline, spins back middle, and the baby hook goes from Schwieger, who has 12 to lead all Valpo scores on 5 of 7 shooting.
Yeah, that was an excellent one-on-one move there by Schwieger, and Thomas stayed with him defensively. You're going to see the foul in the drive by Johnson. I mean, Thomas had really great positioning on that one, but Schwieger just kind of put him a little bit in the spin cycle, flipped it up and in.
Dean will inbound. Here's Johnson. Dean's coming off the screen. Instead, Johnson's going to head in. Now retreat. Now 10 to shoot. Back to Johnson. They're going to look for Thomas on the low block. Montgomery. Elbow jumper. Contested well by the Beacons. They get the rebound.
Great defensive possession there by the Beacons as well. See what Bradley's trying to do with everything coming off of screens off of the ball, and they get the stop. And Monegro's going to drive downhill again.
Step back jumper is short. Tipped out. Jaquan Johnson comes away with it for Bradley. Up and running, heading downhill, and he'll shoot 2.
Yeah, he's not afraid of any contact. We've talked about it ad nauseum. But my goodness, you just got to give him a lot of credit. Jaquan Johnson just fearless going down there amongst the trees. Draws this contact. And look at this right there. Leans into All Right. Going to earn another trip to the free throw line.
He's 2 of 2. He's got 4 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. Hanna and Davis will come back. Diavero in for Valpo.
And that's just a veteran move there, too, by a freshman, Johnson. Understanding that, last time down, Bradley's offense was kind of didn't get much going. Needs something going to the rim, trying to get some easy points on the board, but the clock stops, knocks down both free throws, and gets a nice round of applause as Dylan checks in for Johnson.
And rightfully so. Dean and Johnson, the Braves' 2 point guards. No turnovers so far.
Yeah.
And they've done such a good job of taking care of the basketball this year, and that stayed true again today. Dean towards the top of the league in both assists and assist to turnover ratio. Sped up were the Beacons, but spatted that was right by Hanna, and it'll be a 2-shot foul with 7:55 to go. Bradley trying to put away the Beacons, but they're within striking distance, down 8.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
Well, I go to school full-time while I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
BK melts. Wanna warm up? This sure helps. Classic bacon, shroom, and Swiss. BK melt season is tasty bliss. BK, have it your way.
Being an artist is part philosopher, part someone that manipulates material. I work specifically in metals. I needed a truck to move sculptures like peso neto, which means net weight. Por eso tengo un RAM. It also allows me to move the weight of my message. But most importantly, it allows me to sustain the weight of my culture. We're built to serve.
What's my job?
To keep your daughter safe.
What's my job?
To keep your daughter safe.
What's my job?
To keep your daughter safe. To keep your daughter safe. To keep your daughter safe. Please, Dad, you're scaring me. To keep your daughter safe. Back off!
What's my job?
Come on.
Rated R. Only in theaters January 17th.
This is a nightmare.
Someone called for a nightmare? Hang on. That's your nightmare? Some roof damage? I'm a professional. I deal with real nightmares. You just need to sing the State Farm jingle.
State Farm jingle?
Do it!
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm can help with your claim. We're here when you need us.
Great. Can you get rid of it?
Ooh, who we getting rid of? Wait.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Bradley leading Valpo by 8. One of 6 games going on around the league today. We already touched on Northern Iowa with an 11-point win against Southern Illinois, and Ohio State upended Indiana State in non-conference action. Drake took care of Belmont 65-46. And then a couple of games going on currently. Evansville at home leading Missouri State 40-34 midway through the second half. And in the first half, with 6:36 to go, Illinois State on top of UIC just down the road, 25-16. That's just the second and now third points of the game for All Right. He's without a field goal today. Braves have done a good job on him. Back to a 6-point lead. Montgomery to bring it up.
Yeah, we talked pregame about supporting cast for Valpo. All Right would have been one of those players we would have thought had a good chance to having some success here based off his recent performances. Brad's done a great job of him holding him scoreless from the field, just those free throws. And then a turnover here, going to be on an offensive foul by Corey Thomas.
Offensive foul on Thomas. He's in. Darius Hannah had to head to the bench right before that last timeout. He picked up his 4th foul. Pick and pop Schwieger. De La Cruz Monegro. They work underneath there. They don't want him getting in the paint. Diavero, really good defensive sequence from the Braves. And a good rebound as well by Thomas.
And a great job getting position there on the box out by Thomas as well, keeping Schwieger off the boards. And now they have a switch here to get it inside to Thomas. And all Wright can do is just grab Thomas as he's going up to score there over him.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Matt. Great position underneath by Thomas. A good sequence overall for the Braves big man as he gets rewarded on the other end with a 1 in the bonus. That's the 17th foul on Valpo.
And that right there is just the textbook for a big man. If you want to earn some playing time, box out, run the floor, be available, a great seal, and now an opportunity to go to the free throw line.
Makes the first. Very respectable 10 of 14 now from the line this year is Thomas. He's coming off a 12.4 rebound game against Canisius. As we said at the top, making his 3rd straight start. It's his first points of the game. He does have 4 rebounds and 2 assists and a block shot. He goes 1 of 2, and Schwieger gets the board for the Beacons.
Man, after Valpo offensively, they've had a lot of success getting Sepp here kind of in the high post and kind of operating from that. That's where they had a lot of their success in the first half. Wouldn't be surprised they try to get him facilitating a little bit again. Instead, they got Schwieger on a mismatch, and there's the high-low presence by Sepp looking opposite.
Read well by the Braves.
Gonna have to get a shot up.
They do again. De La Cruz Monegro buries a 3 from the top, so it seems somewhat of a broken sequence for Valpo. They get rewarded, and they knock down a 3 to get within 4.
That is an absolutely huge shot for the Beacons as well.
Montgomery back up top for Davis. Thomas being fronted. They can't get it to him. 7 to shoot.
Feels like it's time for Dean to cook here. See if he can take his man one-on-one.
Trying to make some magic of his own. Splits a pair of defenders, but couldn't finish. The rebound to Sepp, his 7th of the game. And now they quickly get it here. Schmidt on the pick and roll. Heads it over to Sepp, goes up and gets the Beacons to within 2 with 5:47 to go.
I'm telling you, a lot of their success is coming from Sepp. He has been the X factor for the Beacons today. You talk about a supporting cast, what he's been able to bring to this ball club today. The double-digit scoring. He's got a handful of assists. I think that's 3 assists now in the afternoon for Sepp. And he's been keeping a lot of plays alive as well, too, as the Beacons now just trail by 2. Bradley with a 57-55 lead here with 5:43 to go. You're watching The Valley on ESPN.
This is ludicrous.
Ludicrous. All right, who called for ludicrous?
Sorry,
we went, this is ludicrous.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't tell ludicrous what's ludicrous. Ludicrous tells you what's ludicrous.
Okay.
Oh, that is ludicrous. You don't need me for this. Hang on. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Good thing you have State Farm. Just file a claim on the app or call us.
Guess I can go.
Don't you mean roll out?
No, I don't.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome to the Playground Showdown. On today's field, we have Mom versus her pint-sized powerhouse, Timmy. Mom takes off like a blur, and oh, looks like she's hurt her foot, and is now showing us an impromptu dance.
Whether your game is on the basketball court or the playground, get back to it with world-class orthopedic care. Brought to you by OSF Healthcare and Great Plains Orthopedics, official sports medicine providers for Bradley Athletics. Find care now at osfhealthcare.org/orthocare.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with the Ford crew.
Maverick, Ranger.
Another truckload of trucks?
Big event needs big selection. Right, like the Ford F-Series. Best-selling trucks for 47 years. Gas, hybrid, electric, and big selection means great deals. Exactly, which means it's the best time to buy.
Choose Flex Buy on F-150 and get 1.9% for 66 months plus 1,000 Flex Buy cash and 1,000 holiday bonus cash. Only at your local Ford dealer.
We're in store for a good finish here. 5:43 to go. Bradley leading Valpo 57-55. Brian Beto and Matt McLean with you. The Braves led by 6 at the intermission, led by as many as 10 in the second half. But give the visiting Beacons credit. They keep scratching and clawing. And, you know, they didn't let that momentum in the home crowd really get to them at all, able to reel themselves back in and playing with a lot of confidence now. Within 2.
Yeah, Roger Powell's got these guys really bought into the system. They're playing very hard and extremely disciplined as well. They're taking care of the basketball. Obviously, that's one of their strengths. 9 turnovers here is right under their season average, right at their season average, I would say, coming into the game at 10 per game. So they've done a great job of sticking to their game plan, and now they got a chance here. A 2-point game with a little more than 5 minutes to go. Pick up a quality road win.
And they got a great look. The Braves typically thrive out of timeouts offensively, and they got the look they wanted. Atlason just couldn't finish at the rim. And now Valpo a chance to tie or take the lead. Whistle off the ball, and that's going to send De La Cruz Monegro to the line. That's the 17th foul on the Braves. And it'll be 1 in the bonus from the Western Michigan transfer.
That's a tough 30-second segment there by Almar Allison, unable to get the lay-in to go on one end. Picks up the foul here on the other. And now Valparaiso with the opportunity with these 2 free throws to tie up the game.
That's Atlason's 4th foul. Hannah also with 4 for the Braves. Allwright has 4 as well for Valparaiso. You get a look at Roger Powell, who's coaching as a head coach for the first time in Peoria. But believe it or not, the first college game he ever saw was on this floor here at Carver Arena growing up. And his team is pulled even with Bradley, 57-57.
A nice full court pressure there by the Beacons. They drop out. Almost got a 5-second call. Just able to get it into Johnson in time. And a fun lineup here between Johnson over to Allison for the 3.
Great look at it, just couldn't connect. And the rebound goes to Schmidt. And now Valpo shooting for the lead with under 5 to go.
And the Beacons playing with a lot of confidence here late in the second half. They've been able to get into the paint. See if Negro, he doesn't mind. Allison has the size advantage on him. Able to get a nice shot up, but unable to go. And Bradley here with the opportunity to regain the lead.
Dean driving in. Back out, deflected by De La Cruz Monegro. Both Dean and Monegro hit the court, but both will regain. And Diavero gets it into Sepp. Right side for Schmidt. On the pick and roll, Sepp. Back up top to Diavero with 11 to shoot. In the wing, De La Cruz Monegro's 3 is halfway down. No, Schwieger the offensive rebound, and before the shot is fouled by Christian Davis. And that's the 8th team foul. And on Bradley, I think they actually might call it, they are in the act of shooting.
That's an excellent job there by Schwieger, keeping that play alive. And he's got a great nose for the basketball, a really great offensive rebounder coming into this game. And he's one of those guys who can just get the offense going for him off the second chance opportunities, gets the free throw to go there. And Valparaiso has the lead now here with 4 minutes and some change to go.
Their first lead of the half. And it's a 2-point edge for the visiting Beacons.
And again, you're going to see a little bit of pressure here. So far, every time Bradley's got the ball in, Valpo has then retreated once they get it to their point. Eventually, you might see him start bringing some pressure, maybe a trap, a double team. And now Bradley gets to operate in the half court.
Darius Hanna, who just checked back in, has it. He hands to Duke Dean.
We got Dean wide open.
And it deflected, and it's won by De La Cruz Monegro. And now Valpo will bring it up with a 2-point lead. Diavero.
Those are the risks you take on the defensive end, though. When you hedge some of those screens, you can double team the ball and do a great job of getting hands on that deflection and get the steal and the turnover.
Back up top, Schmidt. They'll drive in, goes up, and that one rolls off. The Braves can maybe push with a man down. Here's Dean. Gets the screen from Hanna. They got the size advantage if they want it. Instead, they'll try to move the ball around the horn. Montgomery to Dean. Davis. Here's Montgomery. Goes up and ties the game at 59.
Yeah, just what they called for right there. Get the ball to one of your playmakers. Zeke Montgomery with 10 seconds to go on the shot clock. Just gets downhill. Kisses it in off the glass. And don't look now, folks. We got a nothing game pretty much here, all tied up with 3 minutes to go. Both these teams playing extremely hard down the stretch.
Roger Powell takes the timeout. We'll take it with them. 2:50 to go. We're knotted up at 59 in Peoria.
I chose Columbus State because I needed help with transitioning from the military world. My instructors gave me hands-on learning experiences and helped me find a trade that I love. Now, I've found my niche in an industry that's shaping the skyline of Columbus.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
Well, I go to school full-time while I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Being an artist is part philosopher, part someone that manipulates material. I work specifically in metals. I needed a truck to move sculptures like peso neto, which means net weight. Por eso tengo un ram. It also allows me to move the weight of my message. But most importantly, it allows me to sustain the weight of my culture. We're built to serve.
Foam, pink comb, skeleton made out of chrome, dark balloon, tomato spy, a horse wearing a tie, bucatini with some teeth, Socrates on mountain skis, anemones and blocks of cheese, all bumping MP3s, Gizmo lasso, candy pile, can of worms, golden smile, little Eggman throws his hands in the air, going wild. Yeah.
A pivotal moment as he looks for the win.
If I were him, I'd bundle with the personal price plan.
Bundle, Jake from State Farm.
That's right, Jan. If this were home and this were auto, the bundle move could bring home the real victory. Savings.
That's a weird analogy, Jake. Here we go.
This is a great moment for bundling.
Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan.
There it is.
His signature dance.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Nothing decided yet here in Peoria, but for the time being, we're going to look at our Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois player of the game, and it's Duke Dean. And how could it not be after a shot like that?
Anytime you make a shot like that, you got a pretty good chance to have the spotlight on you. But other than that, I mean, Duke Dean has still performed admirably today. He's got three three-pointers on the game, doing a great job of running this Bradley offense, facilitating and knocking down some triples. Duke Dean, your Blue Cross Blue Shield player of the game.
Out of the timeout, let's see what the Beacons draw up. They got 14 to shoot. Schmidt, there's Sepp. Corner Diavero, who's been quiet today. Diavero back to Sepp. Quick passing around. They got to go. It's Schmidt. Dug out by Johnson. He dives on the floor and has it. A jump ball is going to be called. Bradley was looking for a timeout. They're not going to get it, but the tie-up does, and the possession arrow does favor the Braves.
Look at this hustle by Jaquan Johnson as well. Gets in the lane right there, gets on the floor. Excellent hustle there by the freshman, earning some playing time here in crunch time. 2:30 to go, and he's making a huge play for his ball club, putting his body on the line.
Yeah, came in with 16 steals. He had 5 in the game against SIU in the conference opener. And he's given his team possession for a chance to take the lead. Montgomery going downhill. Montgomery had it blocked.
Schwieger comes from the weak side and behind Montgomery. Valpo's got a quick 5-on-4, and Montgomery's able to get back. And
Johnson is going, yeah, they're looking for him.
They can get to Schwieger, got Johnson on him.
Davis help, blocked by Christian Davis. Gets it back, and a foul is going to be called. Wow.
Yeah, that is great help side defense by the Braves there, and it's kind of a swarm defense down low on Schwieger. He brings the ball down a little bit and invites the Bradley pressure. As you get another look at it, it's going to be a called foul here. Davis does an excellent job coming over to help. And then there's just 3 guys all over Schwieger, and they're going to call foul.
So Dean will come back in for Johnson. Schwieger back to the line where he's 4 of 5. This is still 1 in the bonus. As Schwieger, who has 14 to go along with 6 rebounds, gives Valpo a 1-point lead. He matches De La Cruz Monegro now for game-high honors with 15. Can surpass him here. And he does just that. It's the Beacons by 2, under 2 to play. And Dean will bring it up.
If you're Bradley right now, all right, it's no time to panic. Run some good offense, under 2 minutes to go. Your offense has been performing at a pretty high clip this season. Just get a nice look through the flow of the offense. Keep moving the ball. They got Hannah here with a little bit of a mismatch. Baseline.
Goes up, and he ties it at 61.
That is exactly what they needed right there. Some calm from a veteran Bradley team saying everything's okay. It's a tie ball game. Let's just run our offense, and now the defense needs to step up as well.
Crowd on their feet. Diavero. with it with 10 to shoot. Getting the ball screen from Schwieger. Diavero, underhand flip Sepp. They go high-low for Schwieger. 3 to shoot. Drives baseline, and Schwieger gives the Beacons the lead with a minute to go.
Excellent offense there by Valpo. They milk the clock all the way down, get an excellent high-low. Sepp finds Schwieger. And how about the finish by Schwieger there as well to get the lead?
Back to Hanna. Here's Dean in the corner. Atlason, 8 to shoot. Here's Montgomery. They got to go find Dean. He's got to create. Dean. As the Braves recognize that, they call timeout. They had nothing cooking on that trip.
That's a really good timeout by Brian Wardle. I would imagine as well they're going to put some more time back on the clock here because the far official there, actually the near official on your camera side here, called the timeout several seconds ago. So I wouldn't be surprised if they make a correction here. But Brian Wardle understands how big of a possession this is right here. And he's going to call a timeout, try to draw something up maybe with about, I would be surprised if they put up maybe 3 seconds back on the shot clock here for the Bradley offensive possession. They get another look. This is excellent defense here by Valparaiso. They understand the time is running down. Sepp sticks with Dean off of the switch. Bradley was not going to get a quality shot off there, so that's an excellent timeout there by Brian Wardle to give his team an opportunity to come up with something from this possession.
They're talking over the official score. There's 33.6 left in the game.
They added a half second here.
Yeah, so 2 seconds remaining for Bradley.
So I would assume we'd go to 34.1 for the game clock. So a little bit of extra time here for Bradley, but still not going to be much.
2.3 now. They've changed it again.
This has got to be a drawn-up play here out of this timeout. Maybe you can do a quick screen. Maybe you can do a quick pass, but you're going to have to get a quality look here too. And the differential is not too much as well. We're getting down to the final possessions here, regardless.
So 34.1,
I believe, is where they're going. But certainly here, you got to get something quick off of the screen for Dean. Maybe you can get Davis and look something back for the inbounder with Montgomery off a back screen, but it's going to have to be some quick action. Maybe settle for a 3 and lob up to the rim. Let's see what Bradley can cook with here.
They go to the rim. They get it to Hanna. He goes up, and he'll shoot 2 to try to tie the game at 63.
That's exactly what we're looking for, though. Some sort of easy action. We can get to the backside lob, and that is drawn up to perfection by Brian Wardle and his staff there on the game call. Yeah. Beautiful pass by Montgomery. Puts Hanna in an advantageous situation.
Hanna, who hit some clutch free throws down the stretch against San Francisco, is tasked to do it again here. First one is good.
And this is what you want, a veteran leader with a lot of experience at the line with the opportunity to give your ball club a tie ball game.
To tie it at 63. He does.
And those are some huge shots by Darius Hanna as you see Bradley go to some full court pressure here as well. About a 3-second differential between the game and shot clock, and Roger Powell wants to talk it over.
Timeout Valparaiso. They still have one remaining even after this one. Bradley also with a timeout left to go. You expect the Beacons to play this one down as close to the end of the shot clock if possible. They don't want to give the Braves any opportunity to try to win it in regulation, but we'll see what Valpo's able to draw up here. Matt, what a match and what a game we've had here this on a Sunday afternoon in Peoria.
Yeah, without a doubt. You got to give Valparaiso a ton of credit here. They have fought tooth and nail to get themselves in this position. And if I'm Roger Powell right now in that huddle, we're saying, guys, we got to take care of the basketball, get a quality look here. And just basically the exact same thing that Bradley was just able to do is you get another look at that drawn-up play for the lob on the backside to Hanna. But, I mean, if I'm Valparaiso here, I'm trying to get some action. The guards have had excellent success here as of late, getting downhill. Really nice two-man games with Sepp and Schwieger as well. So you got a couple of different options, and it almost seems like Jefferson De La Cruz Monegro has kind of taken over the game here down the stretch as well, too. So wouldn't be surprised, get the ball in his hands and let him cook.
Yeah, he's just 4 of 15 from the floor, but he's 6 of 6 from the line.
He's done an excellent job of just kind of dictating the tempo and getting his team in charge here.
Schmidt gets it in to Diavero. 20 to shoot.
Run this all the way down, try to take it as close as they can to the end, get a quality look.
The Braves' best on-the-ball defender, Christian Davis, on Diavero. Up top here, Sepp. Back to Diavero. 4 to shoot. Diavero looking for Sepp up top. De La Cruz Monegro, no! Montgomery the rebound. The Braves are calling for timeout. They do get the timeout.
And I think they're going to add a lot of time back on this one. Brian Wardle, as soon as they got the rebound, was yelling timeout immediately. And this FAR official here was able to get it. So I wouldn't be surprised they're going to add a couple of seconds on this.
Tough shot, De La Cruz Monegro, who was just 1 of 6 from 3. Got a look, couldn't knock it down. The Braves did a great job of boxing out, getting the rebound, and now we'll see how much time they'll have left to try to win it in regulation.
As you get another look at the last play there, as you mentioned, Brian, that is a tough shot, but it was almost the exact way that they would want to do it. Run it down, take close to the last shot of the game. I mean, heck, they got that up with about 4 seconds, so if that goes, Bradley would have been in a tough spot there, but they're unable to get it to go, and they get the rebound. I wouldn't be surprised if we're looking at about 1.5 or 2 seconds here on this out-of-bounds play. And Bradley, that is their last timeout as well, so they won't be able to advance it again. But still, nonetheless, a great defensive stop there by the Braves. Going to give them an opportunity here for the final shot for the win.
And let's see how Valpo plays this. They do have a timeout remaining, so in theory, they could see how the Braves line up and then call their final timeout to try to adjust there. But in any event, we'll also see where Bradley will inbound. It will likely depend on when and where the whistle was blown and they called a timeout.
Yeah, I mean, Zeke Montgomery gets it about 3 seconds. We could see out of our peripherals here, immediately Brian Wardle was calling for timeout. So as Zeke Montgomery takes his first dribble, it's about 2 seconds. So wouldn't be surprised if they're going to maybe get about 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds to look at this. And they're going to be about, 60, 70 feet away from the basket as well, too. So you just got to draw up your best play. And, hey, we saw at the end of the first half, all you need is a heave, right? So any sort of look here for the chance to win the game. Duke Dean made it in the first half. So any sort of look here with the opportunity, Bradley's going to take advantage of it. They're going to try to at least.
And the officials trying to piece it together here. Yeah, when I will say I didn't know the exact time, but when Bradley grabbed the rebound, the first thing I did was look at the Bradley sideline, and they were calling, like you mentioned, immediately.
I think Brian Wardle was at the Morton Buildings logo on the court trying to call timeout. He did a great job of getting the attentions of the referee. They have come up with a decision here. We're just waiting for final word. They haven't changed the clock. 0.3 now.
There's no way that could be correct.
That's a really tough one for me to piece together based off of what we could see here. But they had to make a decision based off of video evidence. Maybe they didn't have appropriate video evidence. So 0.3 is what Bradley has to work with here.
In theory, so you can catch and shoot at 0.3 or below. 0.2 or 0.1, it has to be a tip.
So you might see another opportunity here. They might try to throw it up to Darius Hannah at the rim, see if he can get something and tip it in. Wouldn't also be surprised if it's just a quick try to catch and shoot here for Zeke Montgomery.
Yeah. They're going to go for the deep ball.
Go for a
tip.
Looking
for Hannah. He throws it up and nearly sent this crowd into a frenzy. And we'll start it up, and the Braves control the tip.
And now if you're Bradley, you got to try to, on the offensive end, create some really nice cohesiveness here between Dean and Hannah as you see the ball screen, and then get the switch back down to Hannah.
And he gets the Braves on the board first. Darius Hannah now with 17 for Bradley on 6 of 10 shooting. He's on pace to be the Braves' second best field goal percentage. A player in his career, and he gets the Braves on the board first. Schwieger backing down Atlas and had it stripped by Montgomery.
And they got numbers if they want to be hurt quick too here. Duke Dean gonna slow it up. Nice veteran move there. They got the lead. Now Montgomery goes to work.
He'll step back from 3. Sepp the rebound. His 9th. He's one shy of a double-double. He's got 11 points.
Valpo just needs to keep running this offense through Sepp and Schwieger. They've been kind of getting it all done for him. And Monegro just continues to keep getting downhill off of that action. They're going to get to the free throw line after the foul from Christian Davis.
That's 4 on Christian Davis. He joins both Atlason and Hanna, who also have 4.
On the other end, Sepp also with 4 fouls.
And Schmidt and Wright as well. De La Cruz Monegro, a perfect 6 of 6 from the line this afternoon. We'll head to the stripe. Valpo is a team. That's a miss, a big one. 21 of 27 now are the Beacons. As we said before, it came in as the 8th best free throw shooting team in the country. And number 2 gets 1 of 2. Bradley has a 1-point lead. They'll drop back now, will the Beacons, as Montgomery will bring it up. With Dean the ball now. Here's Hanna back to the basket at the arc. Hands to Montgomery on the pick and roll for Hanna, who lays it in on the feed from Zeke Montgomery.
Tremendous finish there by Hanna to able catch and score all in one movement. And you got to give a lot of credit to Zeke Montgomery there. Perfect pass. And then Dean with the steal.
As Diavero falls down, Dean breathing through traffic. Davis dumped to Hanna underneath. He's on the low block. Davis for 3. Well, they brought the roof down here, but a big box out and rebound by the Beacons. Out to Schwieger. Going on Atlason. He had it deflected and a steal.
Great help by Davis. It gets him out in transition. They got a mismatch again down low for Hanna. I think Bradley's just saying let's slow it up a little bit. They don't want to let him get that switch off. It looks like Diaverio's down there on Hanna. They should get him down the corner. Instead, they reset.
Montgomery. They're looking for Hanna, who has the last 8 now for the Braves. Zipped in the corner. Dean's 3.
And that big-time 3 just doesn't seem to go right now for Bradley. They've had 3 looks at triples here in the extra period, unable to get them to go. And Roger Powell says, I just want to get my personnel in here. All right's going to check in for the Beacons. Give him a second to talk it over.
And we're going to take the timeout with them as this stretches to a full after the timeout by the Beacons. 2:27 to go. Valparaiso basketball down 3 here in Peoria.
BK Melts, wanna warm up? This sure helps. Classic bacon, shroom, and Swiss. BK Melt season is tasty bliss. BK, have it your way.
This holiday season, discover the story behind the scar. We will build a new kingdom. It's our kingdom, brother. Mufasa the Lion King is filled with adventure and action.
This was a bad idea!
Experience the film that is hilarious and entertaining.
Run along, kitty cat. Oh, this is so embarrassing.
It's the perfect family Christmas movie that you will absolutely love.
Ew, love? That sounds gross and not something like I constantly think about and really want.
Disney's Mufasa the Lion King. Rated PG. Now playing only in theaters.
A pivotal moment as he looks for the win.
If I were him, I'd bundle with the personal price plan.
Bundle, Jake from State Farm.
That's right, Jan. If this were home and this were auto, the bundle move could bring home the real victory. Savings.
That's a weird analogy, Jake. Here we go.
This is a great moment for bundling.
Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan.
There it is.
His signature dance.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Our generation isn't turning away from the world's problems. Watch us fly ahead, rise to every challenge, and overcome anything. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Being an artist is part philosopher, part someone that manipulates material. I work specifically in metals. I needed a truck to move sculptures like peso neto, which means net weight. Por eso tengo un ram. It also allows me to move the weight of my message. But most importantly, it allows me to sustain the weight of my culture. We're built to serve.
Overtime here in Peoria, Bradley with a 67-64 lead. They've outscored the Beacons 4-1 in this overtime period. All four coming from Darius Hanna. It'll be Beacon basketball out of the timeout.
And straight out of that timeout, Christian Davis trying to fire up the crowd as well, too. Need the home court advantage here down to the final 2:27 of overtime. See a lot of action between Sepp and Schwieger. Schwieger sets this double screen. Here comes Monegro again.
Couldn't finish. Follow is no good. De La Cruz Monegro keeps it alive, and he'll try to tie it. No. And same team, Atlason comes down. Two great looks from Valparaiso. Just couldn't connect.
Yeah, that's a tough break there for the Beacons as well. A lot of effort, come up with no points, and now Bradley can make this a two-possession game with a bucket.
Braves have had many looks from three here in overtime. Good ones that they typically knock down that haven't dropped. They gotta go late in the shot clock here, and Dean is tripped, and that will send him to the line for one in the bonus.
That's 5 on all right as well, too. But that's just a really tough one for the Beacons. Duke Dean, a really smart play here. Feels the defender coming out, being aggressive. He's gonna drive the baseline and draw the foul. Really, really heads up play by the Bradley senior standout.
And Valpo will take advantage of the foul out by Wright and use this as a mini timeout as both teams will head to their respective benches. So as Matt mentioned, All Right is done. That's his fifth. It'll be 1-1 for Duke Dean, who's got 14 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. He's 1 of 2 from the line, and he's trying to make this a two-possession game with 97 seconds to go.
It was clutch free throws at the end of regulation for Darius Hanna. Duke Dean with the opportunity here. It's the same duo that did at the end of the San Francisco game. Just 2 contests to go, knocked down in the big free throws at the stretch, and Dean gets the first of 2 to go.
So it is a two-possession game. Now it's a 5-point game. 1 timeout left for the Beacons if they choose to use it. You don't need a 3 here for Valpo. They're going to shoot one because it's a good look, and Schmidt buries one to get Valpo within 2.
Yeah, Schmidt is an excellent three-point shooter. It's exactly what they would have drawn up in their little 5th foul timeout that they could get over here. Schmidt is a 49% three-point shooter, gets that one straight down the middle.
Up top for Hanna. Back to Montgomery, into Hanna, give and go, and 1.
Darius Hanna has taken over the game here in the overtime period. First off, that's an excellent pass in the interior right there into the breadbasket for Hanna, who goes right up with it. You look right here. This is an excellent play by Valpo on the other end, but to match it with the old-fashioned three-point play, that's an excellent left-handed pass there by Zeke Montgomery, and now Darius Hanna goes to the line.
What an end to the second half and overtime period thus far for Darius Hanna. So he can't convert on the old-fashioned three-point play. A 4-point game, but Hanna now at 21. De La Cruz Monegro, Diavaro launches from 3 and gets the Beacons to within 1.
How about that from Diavario as well? He's a prolific passer, helps set up his teammates, and right there says, you know what? He's gonna rise up, knock down. That was a deep NBA 3 as well too by Diavario.
His first field goal of the game. Allison thought about. Instead, it's Montgomery, 13 to shoot.
Yeah, 26-second differential between the game and time clock here. And Hannah's going to go to work once again.
Spins baseline, goes up, and it spins off. Hannah collects the rebound, but it's batted off his leg, and it'll go to Valpo.
What a play there by Valparaiso, keeping that ball alive. Hannah is distraught in the corner, and the shot clock is now off. Valparaiso is going to have the final possession. If this stands, they are taking a look at it on the baseline here. They'll be looking at the time clock. They'll also be looking at who came off of. But there it is. It's Sepp once again with the extra effort play coming along the weak side. Knocks it out of Hannah's hands off of his knee. Looks like it's going to be Valparaiso basketball.
Yeah, right now 27.6 to go.
This was an excellent move by Hannah, and he sticks with it as well, too. Schmidt on his back hip, gets the rebound, but Sepp comes over with this really smart play, and he has been all over the place today for the Beacons. A really, really bright spot for them.
28.1 now, so they're adding a half second. Shot clock is turned off. And again, we'll see what Valpo chooses to do here. Do you try to get one in the flow of the offense, or do you hold and just go for the win? You're on the road. You're going up against, again, the league's preseason favorite for the underdog. Maybe you play for the last shot and try to win it, or let's see if they decide just to try to get a good look in action and see what happens. Sure. And then try to defend.
And Coach Roger Powell's reminding us, guys, we got one timeout, so they're probably going to come here, see what kind of defensive look Bradley is operating with. You know, they got a couple of different looks that they can go with here. If they don't like the look, they'll call timeout and rethink it. Otherwise, it's 25 seconds for the ball game.
De La Cruz Monegro, he's Diabero. They're in no rush. Oh, he nearly traveled. Schwieger, there's Sepp.
You just can't foul if you're Bradley in this situation. They got to switch Allison on
go.
Monegro.
Here he goes. He gets space. Blocked by Hannah.
They got a foul on the weak side.
Oh, my goodness.
They got Hannah coming across the lane, the help side defense. He gets all ball on the block. This will give us a better look if there was some body on it. He gets all ball first. That is a real tough look for Darius Hannah. And Valparaiso now gets the opportunity to go to the line to take the lead with less than 5 seconds to go.
So 4.5 to go. That's the fifth on Hannah on top of it. You get another look, and usually when you see the block happen before the contact, that becomes, if I'm not mistaken, a legal play. Again, I could be wrong here, but in any regards, the official saw it differently and gives De La Cruz Monegro the free throw. In any event, Valpo, a good aggressive take.
And that's what they would have wanted. Draw something up for De La Cruz Monegro, who at will in the second half kept his team in it. A lot of great action from him getting downhill between him, Sepp, and Schwieger. The three-man game between those guys really was excellent in the second half. And now De La Cruz Monegro is going to get paid off here with the opportunity to go to the free throw line. The first one for the tie, the second one potentially for the lead. And a real tough spot here for the Braves. They did just use their final timeout, and Brian Royal gave his guys the play here with less than 5 seconds, under the assumption that they're going to be playing from behind.
De La Cruz Monegro gets 2 here. He just went 1 of 2 from the line a moment ago.
They miss. Ball don't lie maybe a little bit. But still, if you're Bradley, this does not change anything. They have no timeouts. You are under the assumption he makes this one. You have your play ready, but a lot of pressure on Monegro.
We got a box out for the Braves, too. We're tied, 4.5 to go. No timeouts, as Matt mentioned. They get it into Dean. Momentum moving forward. Dean driving in. Dean to the basket. Blocked! And they're going to get just about ready now. Second overtime forthcoming. First 45 minutes of game action. We're knotted up still. No Darius Hannah for the Braves.
Which is a big loss for Bradley. He kind of took over that first overtime period, and now Bradley's got to step up in his absence.
Diavero into Sepp on the low block. He's going to go to work on Thomas. Spinning, still spinning, goes up, no, and Thomas the rebound.
Great defensive possession there by Corey Thomas, sticking with Sepp, who's having an excellent game. Thomas does not bite on any of the several pump fakes that Sepp provides, and is able to get the stop. Now if you're Bradley, it's going to be a lot of Duke Dean and Zeke Montgomery. See if these guys can create off the dribble, and then where their teammates can come up and help. You're going to see a loose ball foul here on Valpo.
The crowd lets out a sarcastic cheer after they felt the Braves were dealt a couple of tough breaks at the end of that first overtime at the end of regulation, and now Duke Dean will shoot two. Both teams in the double bonus. And for De La Cruz Monegro, that's just his second, so no foul trouble there. Schmidt has 4, and again for the Braves, both Davis and Atlason have 4. Dean puts the Braves up 1. He's got 17, 4 of 5 from the line.
What else could you want to do on a Sunday afternoon? A double overtime in the Valley, folks.
I'm exhausted. I've been sitting for over 2 hours. Dean goes 2 of 2. De La Cruz Monegro backing his way in. Schmidt, who hit a huge 3 at the end of regulation, backing down on Dean. Goes baseline, was influenced, but gets it back, couldn't finish. Thomas saved it to Sepp, and run down by Schmidt underneath Schwieger. He goes up, no, and it's tracked down by Davis.
Wow, big tip of the cap to Corey Thomas on that one. He was all over the place. Couple of different box outs, gets the last tip to the rebound, and Bradley comes up with that one. A hustle play that's not going to show up in the stats. Thomas did an excellent job there.
Montgomery.
This is his spot right here, taking one-on-one with a little baseline fadeaway.
And he makes it look easy. Gets the hometown bounce, and the Braves back up by 4.
That is picturesque by Zeke Montgomery, exactly what the Braves would want. And now defensively, Bradley looking for a second consecutive stop.
Schwieger into Diavero, who hit a lengthy 3 at the end of regulation. That one deflected by Davis into the arms of De La Cruz Monegro. Drives in. Davis got to be careful. He can't foul. And tiptoeing the sideline, Dean comes away with it. Dean in transition, gets by 1 defender and a block, but it'll stay with Bradley with 24 to shoot.
Love that from Duke Dean as well, too. Not resting on their laurels, trying to get out to a lead here in the second overtime. It's kind of the one-man fast break here. Did an excellent job tiptoeing the baseline here. Stands his ground. And get another look at that possession a couple of attempts ago as Corey Thomas keeping the play alive. And Zeke Montgomery going one-on-one.
Dean off the screen, drives in, out to Atlason. He puts it on the floor, goes up, no. Davis keeps it alive. They're going to stop play because the shot clock had reset, and that did not hit the rim, I do not believe, on the attempt from Atlason. So they're going to have to check to see how much time is left, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that's exactly what happened, Brian. Great call. Allison shot a little fadeaway in the lane on the runner. Did not hit the rim. So they're going to take a look here. And they got the time ready. They're ready to go. Great job by Christian Davis flying in to keep this possession alive. They're going to go back to a 20-second reset. Excuse me. It'll be
11 seconds. So as they said, it did not hit the rim. So 11 seconds, Bradley will have it with a 4-point lead. Thomas gives to Montgomery. Who buries another jumper?
That is an extremely difficult shot by Zeke Montgomery. Does a great job off the inbounds. Throws it into Thomas, comes off the screen. 2 defenders on him. Fadeaway is good.
Schmidt to cut the deficit in
He
half.
gets fouled.
He's fouled by Dean.
Yep, and he definitely hit him on the wrist there. Schmidt had Dean behind him. He kind of jumped straight up. Dean's trying to close out. We can see it from right here. Just a little tap on the wrist as you get another look.
So foul on Dean. It's the second time today that Valpo's been fouled on a three-point attempt. And it'll be Schmidt to the line where he's 91%.
And Schmidt's been a little bit of a revelation as well for the Beacons as of late. This is now his 5th game being inserted in the starting lineup. The previous 4 games averaging just under 12 points per game. As you see him miss one of those, a 91% free throw shooter is a rare miss. But he's a guy as well, even when he was coming off the bench earlier in the season, that scored in 5 of the first 8 games of the year. So a guy who can really fill it up. He's been a nice presence here for the Beacons today with 9 points, 8 rebounds as well.
He helped to keep this game going, and uncharacteristic like goes 1 of 3, and it's a 5-point lead for the Braves. Can make it a 3-possession game with a bucket.
But these guys have to be getting pretty exhausted though, a lot of minutes. We're talking about 50 game minutes of play here once this second overtime comes to a close. And Montgomery finds Atlason
for 3.
And just short arm that one. And Valpo's gonna have an opportunity here, cut it down to a 1-possession game.
This is very similar to how the first overtime was going. Schwieger inside the paint. Forces one up, and no. Good defense by Elmar Allison playing with 4 fouls. And the Braves just, you said they've been unable, they've gotten some really good looks for that, you know, quote unquote, put away 3 or dagger 3, and they just haven't been able to knock it down. And then that's a tough foul near half court on Schmidt. That's his 5th, so he's done. And that's 2 for Montgomery to have a chance to make it 3 possession, and McNair will come in for Schmidt.
I hate to harp on it, but that's definitely got to be some fatigue and a little undiscipline there on the other end. You know, Schwieger rushes the shot in the lane early in the shot clock, and then unfortunate here from Schmidt, just gets a little bit overzealous on this pass, trying to make a play for his team. Picks up his 5th foul. An otherwise great afternoon from Schmidt as he fouls out.
Jaquan Johnson's going to come in for Corey Thomas. Give the Braves a little bit more perimeter defense. And Montgomery now has the last 6 for Bradley here in double OT. It's a 3-possession game with now a minute to go. De La Cruz Monegro. A 3 from Schwieger is down. And Valpo just won't go away here in Peoria. Let's see how they'll defend this. If they're going to let it play out or at least try to get a turnover.
Yeah, about a 28-second differential here as well, too. So
now at this point, right? You gotta play it out.
Yeah, you don't want to foul now after 17 seconds of going off the clock. And Duke Dean's going to look to cook a little bit because he's got Sepp on him.
Dean drives in, kicks it. Zeke Montgomery on the floor. He's got space. And a no whistle, and it's going to be last touch by Bradley, they're going to say. And it'll be Valpo basketball.
Some excellent hustle there as well, too, by McNair, just kind of flying in on the weak side and knocks that off of Dean, off of the block shot. A 4-point game here. Valparaiso is going to need to score quick, but you see Montgomery going up. So he's going to finish strong, and then hits it off of Dean is Justice. Does a great job, Justice McNair that is. Keep that play alive, and they're going to take a look at it just to be sure.
Brian Little asking for a review, so the officials are going to come over and take a look and make sure this is indeed Beacon basketball. We're trailing by 7, so no basket. As you get another look, a really good block coming over to help without fouling by Schwieger. And McNair never gave up on the play. And they'll take a look, but the Beacons were down by 5 late in the first overtime, able to come back to tie it. Down 7 Now gets the three. Down 4. Could have the basketball. It is going to be Valparaiso basketball. This is about the point of the first overtime where we saw Diavero hit like a 30-footer from the wing. They get the Beacons within 1. Again, no Darius Hanna for Bradley, no Schmidt, and no Wright for Valpo. All 3 of those players have been disqualified due to the 5 fouls.
And after the review, it does stick with Valparaiso as well, too. So, you know, Roger Powell's drawing up something quick. Not necessarily need a 3 here coming out. Any sort of quick bucket gives your team an opportunity here to see if they opt for a 3 or a quick 2. And Bradley goes into a zone here as well, a little 2-3 zone, trying a little bit of a different look.
Yeah, and this will shave some time off the clock in theory. McNair just
an air ball.
Up. And that's
what a call.
Bradley basketball. Valpo's saying it was tipped.
That is an excellent game plan adjustment there by Brian Wardle and his staff. Coming out in a zone. You see Valparaiso a little bit lost there what to do offensively. You could tell they didn't have their offensive set the way they wanted. And then an air ball jumper, very uncharacteristic.
They get it into Davis. Time ticking away, and Dean is fouled. So Dean to the line for 2, with a chance to get to 20 points, but more importantly, extend this 4-point lead with only 11.6 to go. Valpo does have 2 timeouts remaining.
Exactly, even if potentially a 5 or 6 point game here with these free throws. It's still an opportunity here for the Beacons to get the ball in the front court, try to get a bucket and another foul, maybe keep this extending this game, but with less than 12 seconds to go, and it's looking pretty grim. Gonna need a quick bucket here.
They get the steal. Up ahead to Dean. Dean plays it out. Exhale, Matt McClain.
What
Bradley
a basketball
survives
game
here at home.